Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Why you so stressed? It's not that serious. And free your mind. It's gonna be alright. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe.
You're listening to Glory 93.9 FM, and it is officially Girl Talk time.
Yes.
It's officially Girl Talk time, y'all. It's your girl, Mericha.
And Joinae.
Welcome to Girl Talk.
Welcome.
Welcome. I hope you had a great day today. I hope that you didn't say any bad words to anybody today while you were driving on the wet roads. I hope we all kept our salvation in Jesus' name.
Or when you land in a pothole.
Glory to God. Or if you landed in a pothole.
Woo.
Jesus.
A Street is very dangerous.
My God. I hope and pray that, you stayed as dry as you could today, because I feel like the rain was a little bipolar today. In fact, I had a conversation with our in-house man of God slash meteorologist, Mr. Christoph Roll, and I told him that he can't be posting updates on his status and not post it in the group. We need
That's
both.
right. That's right.
We
That's
need
right.
both.
I agree.
I told him that.
Wow. Okay.
I told him, I was like, I don't care what you post on your status. I watching your status. I read in the group, and you should have told me that the rain was still bipolar. I really didn't appreciate that. And so, it was kind of a very weird day.
Yeah.
It was a very weird
Yesterday
day.
was better though, because the rain was consistent.
Yeah, this rain was.
We didn't know if it wanted to rain or not.
One day it was there, and the 1 minute it
Yeah.
was there, the next minute it
Yeah.
wasn't there, and
Yeah.
it was all over the place. And I was trying to figure out, if it's coming or drawing nigher than normal. Just trying to figure it out, because they got, I want to be ready.
Why do we always start with a song?
I don't know. To be ready.
You should do that all the time.
I want to be ready to walk in Jerusalem just like John. My God. That's what the song say. To walk in Jerusalem just like John. If y'all talking back to us, I do apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties here, so I can't see nothing. My computer just gone completely blank. But nonetheless, we are here. We are excited. This week, my focus on Morning Glory this week was, what is it that you can be thankful for? What is it that you can be thankful for? And taking a posture of gratitude for not only just the simple things, not only just the large thing, but the simple things. So, like, I had a thought today, like, that there was a point in time in my life that I wasn't even sure if I was gonna have a salary coming in.
Oh.
And I thought about that, and then to now, like, have multiple streams of income. I was like, Father, thank you. I'm just so grateful for that.
Wow.
I'm grateful for expansion. I'm grateful for the fact that I don't have any physical disabilities. Like, I don't need anybody's assistance to get anything
for everyday
done.
life.
Yeah, like for everyday life, like for the simple things. Like I can care for myself. I don't need anybody to help me get dressed, or just the fact that, like, I can speak and people understand what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like, I don't have an impediment.
Wow.
I was just thinking of, like, simple things like that we often take for granted,
Yeah.
and just being really grateful to God for his loving kindness and his tender mercies, as the book of Lamentation says. It's because of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. And so I was just really grateful. Really, really grateful for that.
I think for me, just watching the news and the hurricane, and just, seeing how many persons lost their homes,
Mm-hmm.
and life will never be the same. That made me like,
Yeah.
whoa, like no man, like like when we think about the petty things that we complain about, like
Yeah.
man, the sun hot,
Right.
man, there's too much rain,
Right.
but
Some
listen,
people lost everything.
everything,
Right.
everything. So that's my posture. I totally agree. I thought about it today, but I didn't really go into too much thought. It's
Right.
just like, wow, this is really bad.
And it was definitely like, I don't know. I feel like this was not necessarily a storm that they could have really prepared for. Like
No,
they didn't have much
no,
time.
no.
This
And
storm
one of
moved
the
pretty
ladies actually said,
fast.
she said, 1 minute it was going in another direction, and the next minute,
It moved.
yeah, it moved in that
Now
direction.
I have some theories about that, but I'm not gonna talk about that
Yeah, I
tonight.
think that's heavy.
I'm not gonna talk about that on air.
Okay,
But I have some theories. I have
I thought,
some suspicions. Some suspicions. But I'm definitely glad that you mentioned that, because we definitely want to be in prayer for all
yeah,
of those
yeah,
persons, um, just in Florida area, in the Florida Keys, like all of that, all of the surrounding area, the state of Florida, that have been affected by Hurricane Ian. Our prayers are with you. And that's really all we can say right
yeah,
now. Like all we can say is our prayers are with you.
yeah,
We've been through it so many times, and we as a country, like we go through hurricanes on a regular, and it's like, what else can you do in these moments
right,
other than pray?
right. Because you have no control,
No.
no
So,
control.
you know, we praying. We're praying. We're praying. Our prayers are with you. And yeah, we can't even imagine what it's like, but know that our prayers are with you. And yeah, we just pray that for all that is lost, that it would be returned. That's my prayer. Yeah, that it would be returned. So the the weird part about watching all of that this week and seeing Bahamians just, living their normal lives, like just there was a there was a news story in particular that had me like laughing all week, big. And I'm not gonna say which one it is because it's
Wait, I think you know what you mean.
I was just laughing all week because I was like, this woman cannot be serious.
No,
Right? So
no,
I've been laughing at it all week. I'm not
no.
gonna lie. Every time I have like a little dull moment,
I
I go back to
I
to
listen.
that
I
video.
I promise you, if I pull it up, people have the same thing.
Listen to me. I go
Show
back
me,
to
I can
that
show you.
video and I have a little chugga chugga. My phone ain't even working right now,
Man,
girl.
no, I can show you
It's
it.
rough.
You see, we talking about the
So
same video.
yeah, we talking about the same video. Yes, absolutely. And listen to me, y'all. And those of you in the Bahamas, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. There's a
Yeah,
particular lady talking about her son. And so and I use that as a segue. I use that as a segue into our topic because to me, what she had to say, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that that made so much sense to her
yeah, yeah,
because she said what
yeah,
she said
and like
with
fully convinced.
such
Yeah,
conviction.
yeah, she's
Yes, Renice.
convinced.
Yes, Renice.
Yes,
She said it with such
yeah.
conviction. Like such conviction. Like she was just like, I mean, like dry eye. Like this was not a joke.
I
She said it with such conviction.
This part I know, but that part I don't
That
know.
part,
I
he
don't know that
no,
one.
no, 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 no. And so, like, I was, I was sitting down thinking to myself as we have this conversation today. Am I losing my mind? I was sitting down thinking to myself, perhaps the question that we need to ask before we ask this question, what does it look like for us as individuals or as a collective or whatever? What does a sound mind actually look like? Because what you could think to be sense, somebody else may not call sense.
It's I
what
don't.
what you thinking to be
And then
like this
usually,
makes sense in my head. So I would definitely say that I'm not losing my mind when I make this statement. Listen, homegirl wasn't thinking she's going crazy. Or that what she was saying was crazy. Everybody else who watched it was like,
you think after she watched it and
I
people
know,
say,
I know. I really want to ask her, but I mean, I don't know. But point is this. Point is this. She
I don't
said
want you
what
to
she
speak for
said.
Mericha.
She said what she said, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So now I'm asking myself the question like,
Maybe some things that I say that don't make sense.
that I swear by, that I am convinced like this is my truth. It is what it is. How many of us we sit in a place where like,
I mean, how? So you asking how can we tell?
man, like how do
It
you
has to line up
know
with facts.
what she said was true though?
No, it has to line up with facts, like with definitions.
Her definitions wasn't wrong either.
No, you know something? I can't go any deeper into that. But okay. If like spiritually wise, I would say this: if it doesn't line up with the word of God, then you off, right? And then natural wise, if it doesn't, I don't want to say if it doesn't make sense. It's deeper than that. The story have to line up, the definitions, the meanings of the words that you're making reference to should line up. That's it. Boom. That's how you can tell if it's true or not. Yeah.
My posture though, my posture though in a situation, my response could seem very logical to me and not insane at all, but very illogical to you.
No, not. It isn't on to you. It has to line up with something else. So I can say I believe this, and you can say you believe that. But if the foundation or like the point of reference
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like solidify your answer,
Uh-huh.
then it off. Not what you think and what I think. We all go back to a point of reference.
Okay.
You understand
I
what I
understand
mean?
what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying that basically you're saying that basically um the point of reference is necessary to deter insanity or insanity.
Yes.
Okay. Are you losing your mind, Trini?
Honestly, this week, I really thought I was losing it. I really like not
Sorry.
losing it.
We've been having internet issues, so I couldn't see a comment. I see it now. I see it now. Yes, that's what I was talking about, Renee. Steve, not robber. Absolutely. Hey, mom. She said she meant she know he thieves or steals from people when they're not around, but her definition of robbing was stealing with the use of a gun. Yes, I definitely agree with you on that. And I understand where she was coming from.
We all knew that's what mom meant,
But it was just funny.
it was
It was just so funny. It was just so funny. Sorry, guys. The internet was throwing me off just now, and so I didn't get to put this up. Okay, so if you would like to call into the show, the number is 828-3543. And if you would like to text, the number is 828-2543. So again, 828-3543 if you'd like to call into the show, 828-2543 if you'd like to send a WhatsApp or a text message. And you can actually WhatsApp either of those lines, 828-2543 or 828-3543. Okay, so yeah, so okay, so we established the fact that there has to be something, there has to be some fact, some standard set
yeah.
that says this is what sanity looks like in order for us to determine whether or not we're losing our minds. So, based upon the standard, the current standard of sanity, you good? You won't lose your mind.
I'm good.
You good?
It's just like, when a lot going on, I feel like I don't have enough hours in the day. I feel like when I say losing it, I mean like don't have a grip on everything that I normally have a grip on, if that makes sense.
Right. So you haven't lost your mind. You just
Yeah.
lost grip.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
But I just no we extra.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel
I'm
like
definitely a part of the extra crew. And I definitely am
Ex-
having a week.
extra read all about it. Like for the
Extra.
past 2 weeks, it's been like that for me.
Well, this week in particular for me. Well,
this
let
week,
me just
next
put it
week,
like
and the
this.
week
I'm
after.
starting to feel
long.
these early mornings. Like this week, I really starting to feel it. Like I've not been very
My God,
Mericha,
my God.
not been very cherry.
So what? Right. So you see how that's a point of reference.
Yeah, I've not been very, I've not been very cherry. I've not been very, sweet.
I'm praying for you.
I have some coffee in here. So first of all, I'm turned into a coffee person.
Wow.
I don't even know who I am anymore. So I'm turning into a coffee person. This is my third cup of coffee for the day, and this has an extra shot of espresso. And I promise you, if you put a pillow under my head right now, I
You're
will
going
go
to sleep.
straight to sleep.
Drinking coffee
I
like water.
will go straight. I'm drinking coffee like it's juice.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Oh
I,
my god! So y'all pray my strength in the
I'm
Lord,
praying for you though.
please.
For real.
Pray my strength in the Lord, because
It's rough.
I feel like I burning at two ends, burning the candle at two ends.
Jesus. That's why you feel like you're losing it.
That's why I've been having moments and be like, okay, hold on, who are you? Do you know who you are? Is everything
Jesus.
okay? And how many of us? I want you to put it in the comments. And if you don't want to put it in the comments again, you can send a message to 828-2543, 828-3543, or you can give us a call at 828-3543. What is it this week that made you question your sanity? Because I'll tell you, I can't say it on the radio.
Oh, I mean, okay. Since you can
That one
go
that
ahead.
I was thinking about in particular, but go ahead while
Okay,
I drink my
for
coffee
me,
to wake up.
um, and then this is way left field.
Mhm.
However, just a thought in my mind. Um, like a lot of things that God shows us can make us feel like we're losing our minds. And hear me, like because it doesn't line up with what you see. So if God showed me that we're in a blue room, by the way, right? If God showed me that this room is really white, I'd feel like I losing it because this right here, what I could see is really is blue, but you're saying that it's white. Or like if God says something about a particular event or
Right.
whatever it is, life, however,
Mhm.
and it can almost make you feel like, no man, that's just my mind. No man, I just that's just my thoughts. I was thinking about this or I saw this, so this is why this thought came. And I can't speak for everyone, but it's sort of on the fence to me because I'd be like, no man, this ain't real. This can't be real, or we call it deja vu. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it could feel like, man, this this right? This I saw this before. I sure I heard this
Right, right,
before.
right,
So
right.
I think that's another way too
Um,
for the quote unquote prophetic people.
I think for just normal straight up people, when you did all the research, did all the analysis, weighed out every option, made a decision, and it doesn't work out,
Mm,
it could make you feel like, okay,
the
I
scene.
going crazy, like what going on?
Like I followed this step by step. It should
Exactly.
have made
Like I
sense.
did, I did everything that was supposed to be done for this to make sense.
Mm.
And here I am in the situation where it ain't making no sense.
Yeah, yeah, I know. The minute you said that, I thought about making a cake. The other day, I made a cake and it was flat. When I say flat,
So
flat.
you miss baking powder, baking soda,
No,
the rising agent.
no.
It was in a good the rising agent
Th-
was expired.
This was a box cake,
Whoa.
right? Who really mess up a
Friend,
box?
what happened? Your oven wasn't working. Eh?
Listen, the cake just was in the cupboard too long.
It was old.
It was old, so it didn't. What should have worked didn't work. Although I followed all the steps,
Oh.
so could
It
have.
did look right when it was
It did.
mixing.
It didn't look right when it was mixing.
You didn't add nothing
And I
in
didn't.
it.
I didn't say something. That's nothing.
Chevette say, did you slam the oven door? Because that's necessary.
Listen, I like everything you do by the book. I bake. I know how to bake.
Right.
Right?
So when you see it, it look like you want to try add and do it. Oh no, I was gonna add. I was
See,
gonna
I
add.
was
It
already
ain't.
tired. So I was like,
Uh,
something, slam bam, boom, in the baker. I did not slam the oven door.
so did you turn it into like a la mode situation, or you just throw it away?
Garbage.
Wow.
No, like
It wasn't even dumb. It was liquid. It was dumb or it was liquid.
it baked. It didn't rise properly.
So was it dumb or was it like?
Partially,
So
partially, and
you
oh
gotta try.
wait, but when you taste it, you could taste like something off about it.
Oh, something expired.
Old ingredients.
Ah,
So sometimes we think that things that should work because I followed all the steps, quote unquote.
Ah, Jesus.
You know what I mean? I followed all
Yeah.
the steps, but the truth is, it expired.
So you're saying that sometimes we can feel like we're losing our minds because we're holding on to things that we should have been letting go because it ain't no
It been
more
on the
good.
shelf too long. God knows how long Rupert Roberts had that on the shelf, right?
You weren't even sure you get that from Rupert. You called it a
No, I
slave.
sure. That's why I shop. Rupert, be good, right? How long
Call
he
it
had that
Rupert, babe.
on the shelf, and then I have it another 2-3 weeks in my cupboard.
Man, you should be able to have box cake in your cupboard for at least a month.
Okay, however long it was, I was there for a while. And I say, no, something. I'm feeling good. Let me just bake this cake, and it didn't work out.
Shavante shouldn't even know cake mix could expire.
Yes, yes,
Wow,
yes,
that's powerful.
yeah. So that's my 5 cents.
So the this whole concept of answering this question, I was sitting down today. I actually processed this one. My lord, I'll be very proud of me. And I decided to look up some definitions, right? And I decided to what Marsha say?
That's so
Speaking
true.
on speaking of on the shelf though, some of us feel delusional because a word from God hasn't come through yet.
Am I
Yes.
losing my mind? Did God really say it?
Marsha.
Did God really say
Yes.
it?
Yes. Marsha? Or how about this? Let's talk about feeling like you crazy because you said yes to something because when you prayed and when you analyzed the decision before you made it, it fit absolutely in line with the truth of what God said. But
Mm,
not until you get into it and then things go south, you start to feel like, well, wait, but didn't Jesus say that? Maybe
mm.
I missed something. Like, did I?
I ain't get the whole part of the story. Or
Right. Like, I mean, I know we know in part of me prophesy in part, but this was very clear. Sanity, the ability to think and behave in a normal and rational manner.
pause. What is normal?
Exactly, very relative. Normal is very relative. This is what the definition say. This come from Oxford.
Oxford, we need.
Oxford also says that it is reasonable and rational behavior.
It is what?
Reasonable and rational behavior.
We ain't normal that. We ain't normal at all. Okay. Uh huh. Go ahead.
Oh man. Okay. So if we go to the Wikipedia definition, because y'all know we can cite Wikipedia now. Sanity refers to the soundness, rationality, and health of the human mind as opposed to insanity. A person is sane if they are rational.
Hmm.
And it goes on to
Boy,
talk about
that's
how,
crazy.
listen, it goes to talk about how in modern society
That's
the term
crazy.
has become synonymous with like having the mastery of your mind.
But see, that normal
So it's
and
suggesting that sanity, to be sane, means that you have mastered your mind, which means all of us crazy.
head buck, screws loose,
It
screws
says
gone.
sanity involves wholeness, whereas insanity implies narrowness and brokenness. Listen, I couldn't wait to get into this
This,
definition. This Wikipedia is no joke.
wow. I mean, it sounds like it opposes. It sounds like it opposes faith
A sane mind.
because because
Ah.
faith requires me to do the irrational.
A sane mind is nowadays considered healthy, both from its analytical and emotional aspects.
This definition is okay. Mm-hmm. You have more?
Sanity is tied to the logical reasoning about comprehension and what is going on in the world.
You got more?
I do. Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm listening.
In criminal and mental health law, sanity is a legal term denoting that an individual is of sound mind
Fully aware.
and therefore can bear legal responsibility for their
Yeah,
actions.
fully aware what's going on.
The official legal term is compos mentis.
Yeah.
It is generally defined in the terms of the absence of insanity. And that's the thing that I kept reading over and over and over again. Because the reality of the matter is that the way they define sanity is always in comparison to insanity, which is scary.
Yeah. Well,
Because insanity, according to their definition, sets the standard for sanity. That, like, are we really understanding what's
right,
happening
right,
here?
right.
So basically, what you're saying is you looking at the crazy people and saying this person in comparison to that crazy person is not crazy.
like
They're
I
saying
said, a point of reference.
exactly. So the point of reference that we're using here
Insanity
is insanity
to prove sanity.
to prove sanity.
Okay, so you have more? Pause. Go back.
Go back. What do you want me to
Go
go back
back.
to?
So when they say normal, what do they mean by
You want me to click normal and
yeah,
get a definition for normal?
let's see what normal. What does normal look like?
I think
I don't want
normal,
what
normal
you
is
say.
determined by so many things. Normal is determined by culture,
Mhm,
by society,
right.
by your nurturing, by your nature. It's also determined by your level of education, your level of exposure.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
So, I mean, if we can really ask what is normal, normal is relative. Okay, we as Bahamians would call eating raw conch normal.
Yeah.
There are some
I mean,
people in the world who
Very
like
normal.
exactly. Some people in the world are looking at us like like perfect example. I have a friend that like you've spoken to her. She will not eat a fish with a head because where she come from, the fish don't have head on them.
What you mean?
It's just fish.
No. What?
The fish
What?
don't have head.
How? What picture that fish?
The
I
fish,
want to see that
the
fish.
fish only is come fillet.
That's a normal.
That's her normal. Now for us, what we can say is
We
that
need the head
we
on
need
the
to see the
fish.
head because otherwise we suspect that the Chinese make that fish and
That
we
is
don't
not a
want
real
that. That's
fish.
not a real fish and they ain't got head.
That's farm grown.
So normal is definitely determined by our level of exposure and also by our experience.
So hold on.
Hey, Salisa.
So tell me more about this fish.
But think about it. Think about it. You have, as somebody who has grown up around seafood, you have never seen an animal like a cow slaughtered. Have you ever seen a cow slaughtered?
On video?
Okay, in person.
No.
Okay, so you don't even know what it's like to have the experience to go to a farm, get fresh meat from the farm, and then put that meat in the pan, season and put that meat in the pan right away, and see the meat jumping in the pan. It's amazing. Oh yes, it happens.
Listen.
It happens.
Mm-mm. Let's give it a day or two so it don't jump.
No, that's like just like how you like to have fresh fish, like you like to take it from the
Yeah.
ocean and bring it. Listen to me, a fresh piece of meat will change your life.
I don't know if I want to be changed.
It's life changing.
I
Oh no,
don't-
I'm telling you.
I don't want to be changed. Mm-mm.
It's life changing.
Mm-mm.
It's life changing. All you trust me, because it's even more tender and it's amazing. But the first time I went through it, I was like,
it's just to see it. It seems so cruel to see it jump. It feels cruel,
the fishes jump too though,
right? But I don't see it. And then when I fry it, I don't see it jump either.
because it ain't as fresh.
And I'm gonna take the not as fresh, and I'll work with that.
Chevette say hair in the cow shot is cruel.
Mm,
So we've established that normal is
relative.
relative.
Okay.
Okay.
We did all of that.
All of that to say normal is relative.
Boy, this definition got me sounding a little crazy though. it got me.
Explain.
I don't think normal.
Uh-huh. You're normal.
I think so.
Is there something wrong with not being normal?
No, I love it. Absolutely love it because like when I mentioned earlier, everything well in the earlier part of what you said, everything sounds in opposition to faith because and not to just be so deep, but faith is believing in the unseen, right? Or what we would call doing crazy things, irrational things. And they're saying to be normal, don't do that. Don't you understand what
I'm one of the things that I'm struggling with here is there are a whole lot of words that are used to define this concept of sanity, right?
mm-hmm.
And we're defining sanity. And the reason I want you to know when I initially did this research, when I looked, I went to look for insanity first. And insanity was not compared to sanity. Sanity was compared to insanity. So I want to
Mm,
establish that.
mm,
Which is why I chose to define sanity instead of insanity.
mm,
Because insanity was just you crazy. You're not of sound mind. You can't make rational decisions. It wasn't like how it says as opposed to being sane. That they didn't use that
mm-hmm.
terminology at all. But I think what surprised me in just basic like trying to get basic understanding and just like trying to think on a little deeper level, what amazed me was they used so many words that we use as believers, right? To help define, to help bring clarity to their
Mm-hmm.
definition. But I also realized that these words could look different depending on your background, your experiences,
Okay.
your beliefs, whether you're a
Mm-hmm.
Christian or not, um, whether you're just religious, like whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um, whether you're an atheist or whatever, or Buddhist, whatever, that like these definitions could look different for anybody. Because what I
Mm-hmm.
define as wholeness as a believer, an unbeliever may look at it from a different
Yeah.
place. And so I started to like I think over analyze the digging of the
Mm.
definition. And I started to realize that like a part of what keeps us sane is simplicity.
Yeah.
And for many of us, the more we dig into things and the more we overthink and we overprocess, it's when we get to the place where we feel like we don't have mastery of our minds, which is what they define sanity
That's
as.
what happened to me today.
Sanity is defined, one of the definitions of sanity is to master your mind. And so then I started asking myself the question, is it that we haven't mastered our minds or is it that we just refuse to think about the right things? Because here's the truth, we have overthinkers, we have overprocessors, we have people who don't care, and we have people who are in the middle. And I don't know if any of those extremes or the balance thereof suggests that we don't have mastery of our minds. I think it just suggests that we don't do the right thing.
Hmm.
So, as an overthinker, I know I shouldn't overthink. I know that there should be balance. I should think to a certain point and then I should say, you know what?
Cut it off.
Shut this down and go to sleep. Or focus on what you're doing or
So
whatever.
and that will be classified as insanity.
It
And
depends.
hmm.
I wouldn't classify that as insanity because to be insane means that you cannot control your
But
thoughts.
if you have to tell yourself to shut that down, then the what? So what?
If you have to tell yourself to shut it
Like
down,
to like you.
nobody's holding a gun to your head and telling you to think until late in the night till you can't sleep or think and get
But
distracted from doing your work
no
or
one
whatever.
no one tells us that, but it happens,
It happens.
which means that we don't have control
Or
of.
we don't want to.
Okay,
Or we have lived an existence where we've been convinced that we don't have the control because we've
right,
never tried to control
right.
it.
So that's what I'm saying. Would that be considered?
I don't know if it would be considered insanity. I think it would be either considered ignorance or a lack of knowledge.
Sounds borderline insanity to me. Like because that's the root
But you
of
wouldn't call a
of
child crazy if they don't know how to walk. Somebody just
no,
has
but
to
I'm saying
teach
we're
them.
talking about mind. We're not talking about the use of limbs. The
But
mind.
here's the thing. This is what I'm suggesting, though. I'm suggesting that we look at our minds, our brain, just like every other organ in the body
Mm,
that has to be taught what to do.
but I'm saying this. You're saying, okay, I have this. I have the your insanity is not having control of the mind. Sanity is having control of the mind.
Mastery of the mind.
Boom. Right?
Hmm.
You're saying.
I
I'm
didn't say
saying,
control. I said mastery.
for lack of that, just follow me here. Right? Control, master. When you master something, what? What does that mean?
When you master it, it means that you know it in and out.
And you can
I
control.
wouldn't say mastery and control are the same things.
Okay, I'm gonna say control. You have control of the mind,
Hmm.
and when you tell yourself, when you keep thinking and you go on and on and on and on, I'm saying that's where people usually start to lose their mind
When
because
when they can't control
when
their
they can't
thoughts.
control their
Right.
thoughts.
Right.
That's my point. So I'm saying, like, would that be on the way to insanity because that person doesn't know how to cut that off? Do you
I
understand?
understand where you're coming from. I just trying to think if like that would be on the road to insanity because
I think that's the door. I think that's it all. You have some people that can just literally sit and think themselves into depression. Literally, one thought, one thought that spirals down, 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 down. And then the next minute, they don't, okay. And see, in our minds, and I'm just saying, generally speaking, we classify crazy as counting poles, walking the street, etc. But could it be a little more like it doesn't have to be you walking the street or counting poles. Just the fact that you could think yourself into depression, or you could think yourself into suicidal thoughts. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
so I want to suggest something here though, because you say you could think yourself into. So
mhm.
just go with me here. For the sake of this conversation. Thinking yourself into something, doesn't that suggest that you have mastery of your mind because you can take your mind to a certain place?
No, I don't see it that way. I see what you're saying, but I don't see it that way. Um, because you don't have control. That's how I see it. Because you don't have control, you let your mind go there. Like,
But you're
there's
still
no.
allowing it. So you understand
Okay,
what I'm saying?
okay. Let me don't use let then. Because you don't have control, your mind automatically goes there. It automatically can't stop.
Mm.
Because when I say let, it means that you have some sort of control.
Mhm.
I don't mean it like that. If you understand, you understand?
I understand where you're coming from. I'm looking at it from the other side, right? Where I think a lot of times we to relinquish responsibility, we tell ourselves that we can't
Yeah.
control. I think because of ignorance, we tell ourselves we can't control. Um, because we've not been taught how to, or in some cases, we haven't been exposed to the reality that it's possible. In some cases, we have not had healthy conversations about it. And then I would also say, too, that I think that we treat it as if it's separate and apart from who we are.
The mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost like
Mm-mm.
my thoughts and my personality are not congruent when
Mm-mm.
that's not the case.
Mm-mm. I don't see it that way. I never
But
thought that.
I feel like when
You
we
feel like
say
people see it that way.
like when we say things like I can't stop thinking about this or I can't stop thinking about that, I feel like we're making a separation because if you can find yourself in a state, if you can tell your okay, Nurture, nature, your environment, your upbringing, your experiences or lack thereof define who we are as individuals,
Okay.
contribute to who we are, our character,
Mm-hmm.
our nature, our personalities, right? If somebody came to me tomorrow and said to me, you can't be a deep thinker, in my mind, I would say, but I think deeply. Many of us, we were introduced to this concept of, I guess you could say, our thoughts not being controlled by people who struggled with the same thing. So we weren't exposed to a reality where, like, no, you can actually choose and tell yourself what to think. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but for someone who, when you said that,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like the person who said it was not whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you are whole because your response is yes, I do. But if someone is already broken, in a sense, right? They would take that, hold on to that, and dwell on it so much that they can't stop. Sorry, they can't stop thinking about this person say I'm not, but I sing about this and I sing about that and I sing
Right.
about this and I sing about that, and then suddenly question everything that they think about
Right. But you use the word there, whole, based on what?
based on their response, based on how they view themselves, whole and
So it's
secure.
all relative then.
Right. We established that from the beginning. But
Okay.
I'm saying my point is this. When we, for the overthinkers, because I'm an overthinker, I think, yeah. You see me? I going to think about what I overthinker, right? And I feel like we don't call it insanity or we don't call it crazy because it's not what we normally see. You know what I mean? I feel like the overthinker is the door to, or is the, you understand? I'm trying to verbalize what
I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if I agree that overthinking is the daughter to insanity.
I
I don't know if I agree with that because I am convinced that the overthinker has control and they just lazy.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
They're just lazy. They're ignorant to the fact that they do have control. Like you could tell your mind to stop.
I don't think it's that simple. It's not that simple.
Why not?
I don't know why, but it's not that simple. Help. Anyone, like, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, like,
Like it should
see, it's
be.
easy for us to say things like, okay, I don't see it that way or don't understand because we've never really had someone with, like, when it's really, really bad. You know what I mean? Like a real overthink. I'm not talking about like regular overthinking, like, I wonder if I should go left or if I should go right. But like persons who struggle with themselves and question everything that they do, or question everything that comes out of their mouth, or question everything that they think about and over
As we've
process it.
over processed this conversation, I've realized that an extreme to me will definitely not be the same extreme to you.
What is extreme?
It's relative.
Yeah, because like,
It's relative because what I would call extreme, you probably wouldn't. And then there are some things that you would call extreme that like you would look at me and be like, that's really
so I mean, so
extreme.
how do we find the
But
medium? Like what is the,
standards shift. And I think that's the biggest part of this conversation is that like their standards are no longer black and white. I say this to I say this to one of my little sisters all the time when um we having a conversation about like clothes or hair or makeup or
mm,
whatever. I always say to her, don't mix up my beauty standards with yours.
mm,
Because I mean, I trying to get her to stop doing that, but that this particular little sister, she will walk out the house in her bonnet. For me, that's a definite no. Like, What you mean? Like that's for the house.
Not even the colored
You
one.
no, it's for the house.
Would have the leopard.
No, it's for the house.
What if you put a pin on it?
No, it's for the house. See, so that's my standard. And I always would crack the joke and I say, no, don't mix up your beauty standards with mine. And Joinae too has said to me, yeah, Mericha, you on a different level. I just,
Because shit. I mean, okay, I'll go to the food store in Crocs.
yeah, no, my Crocs don't leave the house either. My Crocs leave the house once and I regretted it.
I mean, like, so Crocs only for the house.
That's my standard though. That's me.
So you don't walk barefoot in the house.
No. Oh, feet don't touch the ground. Jesus, no. Shower only. No, mom. No. Aside from that, something always got to be on my feet. Wow. No.
Why?
Barefoot. Ooh.
Dine
I
little.
don't feel clean. But that's not the conversation.
Wait, no, but hold on. we can stick up in right there. So that's not your mind
That's how I've been brought up.
because you don't feel.
That was instilled in me by my grandmother.
And if your foot touched the floor, then what? You have to bathe again?
Yep. Start over. Start over. Because my grandmother said to me as a child, she always used to say this: you walk on the floor with your barefoot, your heel could be hard.
Okay, Mericha.
Women don't have hard feet. I'm sorry. That was drilled in me. So,
You do realize shoes can make your feet hard?
well, I don't have a problem with hard feet, and I always have shoes on, so I wouldn't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But I
Fine.
just telling you, like,
all of these things, it's relative.
it's relative.
Okay, we'll
That's
go
the
with that.
bottom line. Standards are not
I
black
wear,
and white.
I wear my
Standards
Crocs.
shift,
I may be barefoot.
and that's fine.
I'm okay with it.
That is
I don't
fine.
feel no way.
That is fine. But like even having like a conversation as simple as this, like whether you wearing your bonnet outside or whatever, or you wearing your Crocs outside, whatever you're doing with your life. The reality of the matter is many of us have found ourselves saying we feel like we're losing our minds, but the reality is we're actually not.
And it's normal.
It's a normal conversation. It's like normal things that normally come out of our mouth that really we shouldn't be saying because it's not something to play with. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to focus on in this conversation about how flippant and callous we are with our words sometimes. Because if we were to encounter someone who has literally lost their mind, we wouldn't play with it. We wouldn't play with that anymore. We would not even entertain the idea of having that conversation and asking this question. Am I losing my mind? No. If you could comprehend what I'm saying, no, you're not. And that's where I kind of wanted to shift this conversation to. That I didn't see anybody in any of their definitions talk about comprehension.
I think you said that.
No, it was about rationalizing, not
You
comprehension.
didn't use the word understand or anything?
Nope.
Okay, I thought I heard that.
I
Mhm.
use words like narrowness and brokenness and rationality and synonymy. Nothing talked about comprehension.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was maybe because it's understood, like it's something that you should just like
Yeah.
automatically put in there. But for me, it was like, no, I feel like if everybody at some point in time, if they had an education, had to have a comprehension class. Many of us didn't like it. The book was called Language and Comprehension. The ability to process. Well, I loved it too, but everybody wasn't like that. So the ability to process and to make a determination based upon what you've just encountered, whether you've heard it, read it, seen it, whatever. I feel like the moment you have lost the ability to comprehend,
And you lost
clearly
mine.
you have lost your mind. So this also means that temporary insanity is very real for us. Because let's think about now, y'all can say I'm pushing the limits, but let's think about this. Let's think about how that love that you had made you so stupid that you could not comprehend the reality of what was really going on.
So, insanity.
Levels to it.
Okay. I didn't see it that way, but okay. Okay.
That love literally made you
We'll go with that.
crazy. Made you
Uh,
crazy because you couldn't see. You was blind. You couldn't comprehend something different from what you were seeing. No, man. No, he ain't cheating on me. There's no way. It's not possible. But everybody else around you feel like, sweetie, you can't see the big flashing lights telling you.
so that mean insanity?
I
Because I
mean,
mean, okay,
it ain't temporary.
insanity. I don't see it as insanity.
Temporary insanity.
I don't see it. I mean, insanity is so
Now,
strong
it
for
is a legal
something
term. It is a
for,
legal
for
term that
something like that.
temporary insanity is a legal term
I'm not.
that they
I'm
use
not disputing that. I'm saying
in
that I don't
reference to
think.
moments where your emotions are so heightened that you are blinded by you are blinded by your reality is
These people
cannot be
crazy.
seen because of your heightened emotions during that time. It's what people use to get off of like crimes and things, crimes of passion. They plead temporary insanity. You were so blinded by your passion in that moment that your actions could not be explained. Is that not the same thing? No?
Okay. I I just really don't feel like slapping up. So okay, no problem. I. It's just extreme to call that insanity.
But that's what it is, though.
It's very extreme.
But that's what it is.
Okay.
Because you've lost your ability to comprehend and make a sound decision. Because if you were able to comprehend,
Who sets the standard for comprehension?
oh, Jesus.
I mean, because the way I comprehend something may not be the way you comprehend something.
We've established that already.
So, I mean, like, because all you saying all this and that's okay.
We have to establish okay, we have already agreed that there is no black and white. But for the sake of this conversation, we have to establish some kind of standard. So my standard here is this for this particular scenario that we've brought up. Your inability to see the truth about the person that you're in a relationship with
Means that you crazy.
temporarily.
Okay.
You can't make a set. You can't see. You blind.
Okay.
I know it ain't fair.
I okay. That's
It's
what
not fair.
that's what I got for you. Okay, no problem.
It's
All
not
right.
fair.
Mm. Mm.
That's not a word, Johnny.
No, but it means something. It's something. Okay.
Salisa says, you're right, Marisha. Here at our restaurant, we just have to take the head off for some people. Yeah, see? People don't like fish. Eyes. The eyes scare them. Come teach my class,
What?
Marisha, because they need to understand what normal is. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Chevette, I know how to teach nobody class right now. I got enough classes in my hands. Chevette says, you're right. But I'm able to tell myself, shut it down. That's good. A lot of people are not. A lot of people feel like it's not possible. Marsha says, real talk. Nicola says, I agree with you, Marisha. Can't make a sound decision.
Are we really calling these people insane?
I didn't say permanently. I said
It don't
temporarily.
matter.
No, that matters.
I mean, insane.
No, but that matters.
I ain't see it that way, but okay.
That matters. If I'm not gonna call you permanently insane, but you are having a moment of temporary insanity.
Okay.
You don't like the fact that that's what it is, but that's what it is.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
reality of what it is. Doesn't taste good though.
Okay. I thank God that I was ever crazy like that. Because I mean I don't see it. I don't see it that way.
Or how do you see it? You're not telling us how you see it.
I,
You just keep saying you don't see it that way. How do you see it?
because it's hard for me to process what what I see in my head and get it out verbally. So until I do, I'll just say okay. That's all I got.
Let's go a little deeper into these definitions. Whew. Oh, Jesus. It is naively assumed that the fact that the majority of people share certain ideas or feelings proves the validity of these ideas and feelings. Feelings. Nothing is further from the truth. The fact that millions of people share the same vices does not make these vices virtues. The fact that they share so many errors does not make the errors to be truth. And the fact that millions of people share the same form of mental pathology does not make these people sane. So, if we were to take this, and sorry, let me tell you how I'm reading that quote from. That quote is from Aaron Fromm. He's a psychologist. And he says that he's proposing that just because a group of individuals are following a certain way of thinking, it does not mean that
That
they
right.
are sane. He's suggesting that there is a set standard to sanity. And millions of people can be defined as insane if what they are thinking is an error. Now, who establishes the error and who establishes the standard for what is an error and what is not? Mr. Fromm, I can need you to tell me. But I only took that little quote because I thought it was interesting because I considered it from the standard of being a believer. And like you mentioned earlier in the show, Joinae, like people can look at us as believers and think we're crazy because of how radical our faith is, because of the things we believe, because of our posture, and when it comes to our faith in God. And then there are different levels too. So looking at the millions of Christians in the world, people will be like, y'all crazy, just like how we look at other religions and be like, okay, like take for example, the majority of the world outside of Islam looked at those men who were suicide bombers as if they was crazy. Like, you cannot be for real. Like, this does not make sense. Like, but to Muslims, it made sense. And the reality is, standards are different according to where you live, who you are, how you've been nurtured.
What's what's our standard?
That's a very good question. Raquel says, love will make you wear winter clothes during the summer. Mom, you better say this. Insane. Insane. Love will make you do some crazy things, though.
So okay. Every day walking by faith, I believe that this man could come true. I'm thinking about
You
the
calling it
scenario.
you calling it walking by faith,
Walk by
and we
faith.
all looking at you and saying, you
Crazy.
crazy.
Okay.
So continue to walk by
Walk
faith.
by faith. I just say I'm trying to look at it not just like only from one side, but in that person's mind.
Yeah. I mean, and that goes back to the beginning of the conversation. My son is not a robber, he's a thief. Not to be confused
When we see me laying
with
to the
the
side.
other.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the other. But no, listen to this though. If sanity involves wholeness, whereas insanity implies narrowness and brokenness, it means this. It means that in some cases, in order for us to walk by faith, we have to be a little narrow. We have to be just slightly insane in our thinking to believe what we believe.
That's what I was saying from the be crazy.
I'm crazy.
But based on this definition, that's what it's saying.
I'm not crazy.
That's what it's saying.
I'm crazy.
But that's what it's saying.
Based upon homeboy definition, I don't know who is this? G.K. Chesterton.
Him? That's what he thinks about us.
You think we crazy?
Yeah.
G.K. crazy too, though. He's a Christian.
But all of we. course.
Given that science given that science continually seeks to adjust its theories structurally to fit the facts, i.e., improves its maps to fit the territory, and thus advances more rapidly than any other field. The key to understanding sanity would be found in the study of the methods of science. That does not bring me any clarity at all. Like, that's what the people say. I only telling y'all what the people say.
What is the standard of sanity based on our culture? Because said it can be,
Culture as who?
Amen, people.
I don't know, because that could depend which side of the island you grew up on.
All islands, and like this, all in general, generalize
Or
everything.
mm, one thing that all Bahamians have in common. They live in the Bahamas. I don't know what you want me to say, but they don't. Some of them live away. They've been to the Bahamas. At some point in time, their foot has touched Bahamian soil. That's as far as I could go. It's a hard thing to establish. It's
Which
a
is
hard
why I'm
standard
having,
to set.
which is why I'm having like a hard time to figure out, like, am I losing my mind?
You're not. You're not. I think that the beauty of, and I didn't want to get here this quick, but I mean it's 5 o'clock, so let's go here. The beauty of being able to declare that we're not losing our minds is that there is something in us that constantly is looking for a point of reference for ourselves in somebody else.
Mm.
And that is where the problem lies. The problem lies in when we try to set standards for
In
ourselves,
comparison,
it's always in comparison to something
Yeah.
else or somebody else. And one of the things that we do, we rob ourselves of our truth, of who it is that we have been created to be, what we've been called to do, how we've been created to process
based on
life
someone else's mold.
based on somebody
Yeah.
else's motive. And the truth is that person has even based their own perspective off of somebody else. Because the reality of the matter is, it is very difficult for us as human beings to be uniquely original and in relationship with one another.
Right. Yeah.
Because we have this thing where when we spend time around one another a lot, we eventually adapt something
Yeah.
from the person that we
Start to
spend
look alike.
time. You start to look alike. Now, here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with habits and conversation and body language and gestures being similar. But those similarities do not make you and that other person
Mhm.
or that group of people the
Same.
same. And I think that's where we go wrong, even in this conversation that we're having. Like, we are trying to establish whether or not an individual is sane in comparison to another individual. And there is no comparison because God has made no two people on this earth alike to ever exist in the expanse of time. So, like I said, you pushed me. I didn't want to go there. I was
I mean, I
saving
just-
that. I was saving that for like the closing.
Please get the offering bucket. Ushers, come to the
I
front.
was saving that for the closing because I cannot look at Joinae's decisions. I cannot look at the way you live your life, how you structure your day, your habits, what you do, what you don't do, and say, well, gee, if Joinae is do that, then I must be crazy. No, that's not fair. And I also don't think it's right, even though we were having the conversation, entertaining the conversation. I also don't think it's right for us to look at somebody in the situation that we described, where this person is convinced this man is being faithful to them and they cannot see it. I think it's unfair for us to look at that person and call them crazy because we're not in their shoes. We don't understand how they process love. We don't understand how they're processing their
Which is
relationships.
why I said what
We
I
don't
said.
understand. No. You couldn't explain it. So don't come back and try to justify it now. You were speechless for
That's
the
what I
entire
was.
time.
That and I said, I said I have something in my mind, but it's hard for me to
Yeah, but you don't
explain
say
it.
it. So I
The
got,
point is, I was. That's what I was trying to say.
but you didn't say it.
I was trying to say,
But you didn't say it.
trying, trying,
Try out.
trying. Okay, let me go back then. Run the tape back.
So I think it's hard for us to make that kind of statement. What is the standard? We can't set a standard. Your standard is always going to be different from mine. I don't care how similar we are. I don't care what we have going on that seems like, yeah, I doing this and you doing this too. No, no. Now I do believe that there are standards for believers that apply straight across the board
When it comes to mind,
when it comes to our.
just like what are you talking about? Like in general, or just the mind?
We're
Because we
talking about like the idea of whether or not another believer can look at another believer and say you crazy.
okay.
You understand?
We kind of do
We
though.
do it
We call it deep.
based upon a standard,
Yeah.
right? And I believe that there is a standard set for believers, and I do believe that there is a place where we can be too extreme.
Deep. We call it.
No,
We.
no, no,
I'm saying like how we explain it. Like, gee, okay, that's deep.
no. I ain't talking about the deep
Oh, you mean
people.
like strange?
I mean like this feather means that angels were.
You see me roll my eye. Oh my god! I wasn't really rolling my eye at you, just really at the situation.
This
But see,
these nails from
before,
a nail gun means. You understand what I'm saying?
but
Like,
see, no, that's crazy. That's crazy because what if God is speaking through a nail gun? What if the nail is saying something? What if the feather is saying something? Does that mean that that person is crazy or
I didn't say crazy. I said extreme.
extreme? Okay, extreme, and we call it
Extreme.
deep or strange.
I ain't calling it deep.
Deep or strange. And when you say deep, it doesn't really mean deep. It means like, okay, this person's strange, but I don't want to call him strange.
No, 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 no. Strange.
Deep. I ain't got your feelings that you strange.
No, you strange. You are
You
strange.
deep. Maybe God speaks to you that way.
No, no, you strange.
Could it be that we're just narrow minded?
Absolutely.
Could it just because maybe that person perfect example. Thank you, Holy Ghost. I saw a video with Kanye West and he said, okay, I can't quote him all the way, but he just is talking about he's like, why God have him on the earth and people think that he's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a statement that he made.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, okay, well, I guess when I get to heaven or however, then I'll understand. Or everyone who thought I was crazy will see I'm not really crazy. In his mind, we would we we would say Kanye is strange. But in his mind, him and God can meet at the end of the day, and you have these people thinking that I'm crazy. So if he were to say, or go on Ellen and say, this feather really has 1,000 strands, right? But Ellen would look and be like, I don't see how you see that. And we call that person strange or extreme when it's real.
To them.
But it's still it's that our mind hasn't expanded to that level. You understand? Like, so the way he sees won't be the way I see. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but it's still extreme.
Okay, according to who? According to based on who you are and how you see.
According to the people who are not extreme.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, based on like where you are.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. So when we say things like the feather and the nail gun, I believe that God could speak through a feather or a nail gun or these things on the wall, whatever. But someone look at me and say that's extreme. But it's normal for me. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you. I just
Think it's extreme.
no. I think that there is a standard of regularity.
And like I started this conversation, I normal. I
Regularity. There's a
I take
standard of regularity that we all abide by. And there is a large group of people that will look at a situation like that and be like,
crazy.
you crazy.
You're crazy. I'll take that though.
The woman who says, I have been told by doctors that it's impossible for me to have children, but she's believing God for a child, married, doing things right. Some people will look at her and say she's crazy. We can't hear you. We on radio, so people need to hear you. You need to talk
Meaning
up.
you.
No, you gotta talk to everybody.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. They would say she's crazy.
Right. So what I'm saying is that levels of extremity,
So would that be would she be extreme?
yeah, that's extreme. There's nothing wrong with being extreme.
See, but I don't see it as extreme.
But it is though.
I see it like
It is though.
as I don't want to say normal, but I see it as yeah, okay, no problem. No problem. I don't it ain't that extreme.
Based upon your level,
Yeah.
your view.
Now if you say this lady went to a funeral and was like raised the body from the dead, and I'd be like, gee, that's extreme. But then
I wouldn't find that extreme.
okay. My point.
Because the Bible say we supposed to raise the dead.
So miracles ain't real? So she extreme for believing in Sarah and Abraham. She extreme for believing.
Miracles are extreme though.
But you saying raising from the dead wouldn't be extreme because it happened in the Bible?
Mm,
That's
just,
what the Bible say?
that's
I'm
just
saying-
me. That's just me though.
I understand.
That's just me.
I understand. We see extreme two totally different ways.
No, what I'm saying is it is extreme, but it's extreme normal for me.
And that's how I feel with the baby.
Okay. I don't
It's
disagree
extreme
with you.
normal.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that
But I think it's crazy that we say that's extreme for people.
because that's your perspective. Just like how you would say it's crazy for me to say somebody was
Raised.
raised from the dead.
I know I wouldn't say it's crazy, it's extreme. That's a lot.
Exactly, but I wouldn't. I'd be like, yes, Jesus, raised the dead. Glory to God.
Okay.
I cannot determine my sanity based upon your definition of what sanity is.
But we got people out there. What the man name? J something.
Or G.K. Chesterton
Him.
and Philip. That's his
they-
name? No, Aaron Fromm.
Where you get Philip from? Don't worry about it.
Because Philip talked about unsane. Suggested that the term should be unsane to describe a condition that is not exactly insane, but not quite sane either. I didn't want to enter that into the conversation because Philip tried to find a middle ground. He tried to be lukewarm so God could vomit, and I couldn't get with Philip today. Am I losing my mind? I listen. The goal of today's show, in my mind, was to get every single woman who listens to this show, everybody who's listening on Facebook, who's listening on the TuneIn Radio, who's listening on YouTube, on Twitter, listening via the 93.9 FM band, listening to this podcast. Stop looking at somebody else's situation, circumstance, environment, frame of understanding, conversation, where they live their life, standard, whatever you want to call it. Stop using that as to define whether or
As
not
a
you're
measuring
crazy.
stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have a real
Look
problem.
at you.
And then saying because your problem ain't as or what you would call as extreme as someone else.
Look at you. Look at you. The way that you process things, the way that you understand life based upon your experiences. No one can tell you how to feel based on your experiences. You feel what you feel, you know what you know. They can suggest to you that there's a different way to look at it, but they can't tell you how to feel.
Hmm.
Nicole says, "Girl, I just reached what you just say almost caused me all up." I know what you're talking about, Nicole. You have to define that. You have to help us a little bit. But yeah, and so my whole thing about this conversation today was to say, first of all, no, you're not losing your mind. Number one. Number two, if you feel like you are overwhelmed or there's too much going on or you can't process or you can't find balance or whatever, perhaps it's because you are looking at somebody else as the standard. You are comparing where you are right now to somebody else. And that perhaps that's the reason why you feel the way you do.
Okay, what would be the next reason if not that? What if you're not comparing to someone but you just have a lot going on and it's overwhelming you? I mean
But we
like
talked about that before, right? We talked about that last week a little bit
yeah,
about like finding balance and establishing boundaries, so on and so
yeah,
forth.
creating lanes.
And understanding that like there's only so many hours in the day, there's only so much you could do, but also that you have the grace to do everything that you have been that you need to do.
Oil.
You have the oil, you got the anointing, the
But the
ability.
oiling though.
Well, we ain't having that conversation again this week.
I'm just saying like sometimes it's not in comparison to someone else, but it just life itself can just feel overwhelming. You know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with
Like
you.
not, I'm not watching someone else do it. I'm not concerned about what's happening next door. But where I'm at is a lot.
And so what do you do?
When my heart is overwhelmed,
Okay, then. So you're not overwhelmed then.
lead me to the rocks.
You're not overwhelmed.
I'm just trying to get another perspective. Okay.
You're just carrying something that you've not been made to carry.
I wouldn't say that either, but we go with that. Because I mean because we'd be tit for tat all day. But yeah, okay, I understand.
Because if that's your solution, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than that. Then what it's saying is that you tried to carry something that you weren't meant to carry on your own, and now you're going to take it to the person who was meant to carry it.
Okay. It ain't that simple, but okay. It ain't like I in my mind. Okay.
And that's it right there.
In my mind.
In my mind, do do. I want you to be free. You know that song. You don't listen to Christmas music. Some people just automatically dive into
On
Christmas just now when I said that. You don't listen to Christmas music because
I
then
just
you don't know
listen.
that automatically.
I know. Chestnuts
No, no, no,
roasting
no, no.
on
That's how
open
things
fire.
start. Silent Night by the Temptations.
I didn't know the side.
No, no, no. In my mind, ooh, doom, doom, doom. I want you to be free.
I'm gonna listen to it.
All of my friends,
That don't
won't
even
you
ring a bell.
listen to me? We wish
but
you a
but but why she doing the
Merry
hand?
Christmas to we to all of yeah. Yes. I forget you young.
Honestly, like hey Phil, how you
Silent
doing?
night. Philip laughing at me because he know exactly what I talk about.
I
And
Phil, I
you
don't know that
lost.
one.
You lost.
I don't jingle bells. I know that.
He laughing because he know exactly what's talking about. Okay, no, but for real, we've been going back and forth all day. Reality is this, babe. You're not losing your mind. You are not losing your mind. You good, babe. You're good. You're good. Do we have moments where we feel like things have gotten out of control? Absolutely. Do we
Under
have?
control.
Oh no, don't do it. Please don't do
Sorry,
it.
that's that. I mean, but it it means that under control. Go ahead,
Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. I ain't gonna lie. If you
Phil.
know how
You should
much
have been
I
there earlier.
lack sleep right now, you would be amazed at the fact that like I sitting in front of you looking the way I look. Okay, your girl is tired. And Joinae ain't helping me today. She
Under
just sitting there quiet,
because
I ain't tired. But we have not lost. We have not lost our minds. Yes, life has gotten overwhelming at times. Yes, we feel like, oh, I can't get a grip. But that's a moment. That's a moment. Eventually you do get a grip, don't you?
I haven't found it yet.
Oh Jesus Lord.
I mean, you want me to lie?
Okay, I'm not talking about your current situation. Can you
Just
pull
wait.
yourself out of your current situation and reflect on times
Why is Mericha
past?
shouting? Why is she shouting at
I
me?
know. I didn't know I was shouting.
Yeah,
Reflect on
yeah,
times past when you have felt overwhelmed. There was eventually a place that you got to where it made sense
yes,
and where you figured it out.
yes.
Use that as a point of reference. This I recall to my mind. Therefore, I have hope. No?
Yes.
Oh, I don't believe you. You look like you lying straight through your teeth.
Yes.
Phil, thank
Because
you.
I thought about the song.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Phil.
Um, that like, and I think too, that's like, I have this conversation with myself all the time. I row myself. I'd be like, Marisha, you are not panicking over this. Look what Jesus done do. Just calm down.
If he did it before.
Just be good. It's all gonna work out. And sis, why you coming for me like that? That's my sister, y'all. Y'all, I sleepy, man. Give me a break. Jeez.
And on the third cup of coffee, it's
Look, I sleepy. I telling y'all, if y'all give me a pillow right now, I going to sleep. Um, but I think, oh, what's so big for this conversation is like, let's take some time to, and I know time is very rare, but let's be intentional to find time to pause for a moment, even if it's something that you do once a year. No, seriously, take some time to yourself to figure out who you are.
like a vacation.
It don't even have to be a vacation. It could be a day. It could be a day. Like where you just say, okay, you know what? The 8 hours of this day is just for me. Take some time
You
to
might just have that
reflect on
conversation.
some situations and circumstances that you've been through. How well did you make it through it? What were your triumphs? What were your losses? What were the experiences that you had that formed your decisions in other encounters or places where you had to make other decisions? Like I think a lot of times because we don't take time
Hmm.
to figure out who we are, we end up getting lost in the next decision that has to be
Yes.
made, the next situation, the next circumstance. We don't take time to figure out what have I learned as a result of what I have encountered, of what I've had to go through. It's something I force myself to do every year, every single year. It is a vacation for me. It don't have to be a vacation for you. It's a vacation for me. I pull away from everyone.
I feel like for me, if I were to say do that once a year, just based on your example,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it. I have to do it more often for things to
Mm.
stick and for me to really like so the next move I know about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's more like of a every quarter,
Okay.
right? Okay, this is what you did. This is what you accomplished. Um, you wanted it to turn out this way. It didn't. So next time
Mm-hmm.
around, you can handle
Mm-hmm.
this way. I feel like for me,
Mm-hmm.
the year would be too long. Because our lives are different. You're much more busy,
Mm-hmm.
so I need to do it quicker because
But
I'd get lost.
like we were talking about though, like my time is more extreme than yours is,
Yeah.
right? So for you, you probably could like turn your phone off for an hour. You could go in a corner. You have no problem doing that. Whereas my life doesn't allow me to do that. And so it what may not seem to be normal for you, like it has to be my normal, but it might be an extreme to you. But I feel like just the principle, the concept of
Take time.
self-evaluation and taking time, like my sister said, yes, heavy on the meditation and reflection. I think a lot of times, especially as believers, we look at these things as new age concepts and we forget that God was the creator of all
Mhm.
things and everything was first established in him,
Mhm.
and that the world has taken what he has created and perverted it to make it
Agreed.
benefit their flesh when
Agreed.
these things were initially intended to
Yeah.
benefit our spirit. And
Yes.
so for many of us, we get so lost in life that we don't take the time to establish who you are, and
Yeah.
then things would make so much more sense.
And decisions will be easier because
Exactly,
you won't
because
compare
you
it.
would say, yeah, no, that's not me. I would not do something like
Yeah.
that. So I won't make that
Yeah.
decision. Or when you have made a mistake, you can recognize that it was a mistake
Yeah.
based on the fact that, like, no, that ain't me. That's
Yeah.
not normal. So how did I get to that place? Like, how did I get to the point
But
where I found myself making that mistake? So on and so forth. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
And I think that that's the biggest part of this whole concept of whether you are insane, I'm insane, whether we sane, whether we ain't sane, that like you got to know you, babe. And many of us walking around ignorant of who we are.
Me and my sister just had this
So
conversation.
you can answer the question because you don't know who you are.
Hmm.
And then some of us on our journey to discovery, we stop after we come to a certain point,
Yes.
and we don't recognize that the journey of discovery is not going to end. It's
Hmm.
not going to end, y'all. I sorry. Jesus set it up that way.
I mean, but it's cool though, because how boring would it be? Like, if you just stop.
If you just stay the same for
That's
the rest of your
boring.
life.
That's boring. That's
Do you
boring.
like change?
It's difficult, but I embrace it.
Right. So I'm the type of person. I don't like change.
And that when you asked me if I understood you, that was my thought because um being you, right? When you recognize who you are,
Mm-hmm.
when something new or another way comes about, that can oppose
Absolutely. It
the
does.
new.
It does.
So you and so it's always a question that I ask myself, like, okay, am I staying true to myself and not just wanting change, or am I just staying true to myself? You know what I
Ah,
mean? So
yeah.
it's a thin line to really tell, like, am I just not embracing change, or is it me staying true to myself?
Mm.
And that could make you feel crazy because everybody see this is like you would
You're not though. You're just being you,
no, but
and you're
no, what
processing
I'm
life
saying,
through your lens.
everyone would make it seem like, no, you crazy, you should.
No, that's just who you are. Which is why we can't set our standards of sanity based on other people's opinions and thoughts because they don't get it. They don't get it. I always wondered. I always wondered um, all of my life from the moment I was first introduced to this story. I always wondered what Jesus wrote in the ground that day
Hmm.
that caused people to walk away from throwing their stones at that woman. Because in my
Mm,
mind, the action of Jesus writing in the ground
mm.
was an insane act. Like that didn't make no sense
You
to
could
me.
you could just talk.
Like you could have just say,
Yeah, and we wouldn't know.
like, and it would have been known and understood to
Yeah,
everybody, like, no, let he without sin.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, the
yeah,
first stone,
yeah.
right? I always thought that was an insane act by Jesus. And I always, from the moment I was introduced to that story as a child, I always say, when I get to heaven, I gonna need
First question.
Jesus.
First question on the list. God, could
Jesus,
you
what did
please
you write in the ground? What did you write in the
just
sand?
explain this,
I
please?
just would like to know. Because I know, I know that I think it's David who says that he uses the foolish things to confound the wise. So I get it. I myself have found myself in situations where, like, yeah, Jesus, you literally. you literally have slapped me in my face for thinking I was so wise.
Yeah.
Wonderful, great. But I always like marveled at the fact that Jesus did not have a problem looking stupid.
And in this day and age, no. You don't got me looking stupid. You don't got me looking like no conk. And I think that's where the
He,
opposition comes in when
yes,
God, according to our purpose, where God like gotta fight, gotta fight for us so bad because we don't want to look bad.
he had no problem.
You know the problem with people calling him crazy either.
No,
Mm,
no. I was listening to this morning from my devotions. I was listening to the part of the story as Jesus journeys to crucifixion where he's being questioned, right?
mm,
And so he was asked, so like, so are you a king?
what you did
And he
about?
was like, well, who do you say? Like, who do you think I am? Have you heard me declare that I'm a king? They call me the king of the
Mhm,
Jews. But who do you think I
mhm,
am?
mhm.
Like, like Jesus is like strange. Like just straight up strange. And is confident in his strange behavior. Absolutely sure that like you could
Happy to be
believe
strange.
whatever you want to believe. I
As a matter
am
of fact, tell
who
me what you
I am.
believe.
Tell me what you think about me.
Tell me.
Tell me because the reality of the matter is I don't need to rehearse who I am. I don't
I
really
don't need to convince you either.
know. I know. So
That's
how about
crazy.
you
That's
just
crazy because this ain't, if we do something like that, that's pride.
ah and it's something that I've heard Dr. Miles Monroe teach about all the time. He says many of us have pride mixed up with godly confidence.
Hmm.
Because he says,
But we talked about this before because
mhm,
the root of it would just be motive. What is your motive?
right. What he adds to it is that pride will always seek to exalt itself above God.
Mm, got it.
Hmm.
Well, like that get a lot one
Yep.
shot. One shot. Okay. Okay.
Like point, period,
Yeah,
point
okay.
blank, period.
You don't got a question no more after that.
So I think the biggest thing for us coming out of this conversation is to take the time out for self-discovery, to figure out who you are. Look at your calendar for next year. Because this year is just about done. Look at your calendar for next year. What time of the year are you going to set aside? Or how many times a year, if it needs to be how many, are you going to set aside to figure you out?
Like this may be strange, but like maybe like according to seasons,
You could do it according to seasons,
not natural seasons.
according to like what you have going on in your life.
Yeah.
Um, for those of us who are married, who have kids, you have to set it around those parameters as well. Your job, got to set it around those parameters as
Yeah.
well. For me, I'm not only setting setting it around the parameters of my job and my life, but also setting it around the parameters of my weakest moments.
Mm.
It is it has been beneficial for me to go through the process of introspection during the weakest moments of my year.
Not while weak.
Not while
Okay.
weak, but when
Okay.
approaching.
Okay.
So usually, and this is something that I'm so grateful to God that like he's been dealing with me with, and he's really like that I've seen major improvement. I don't know when it happened. I don't know when I made this transition, like how it happened. But there was a point in time in my life at a certain age where birthdays no longer excited me.
Mm.
Birthdays became a big flashing sign to say you haven't accomplished all that you wanted
Yeah.
to accomplish before this time.
Yeah.
And so there would be this depression that would come over me as I approach my birthday, like, oh my God, you ain't do nothing you say you
Right.
was gonna do.
Right.
Like, what you
What
been
you do all
doing?
year?
Like,
What you do all
what
year?
what
All
you
he
do?
says, what you been doing?
What did you do? Eat, spend your money on food. Like I just like just this just not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I decided to do was like soon as Christmas is over, like I'm telling you, because my birthday is right after Christmas. So as soon as Christmas is over, I go into celebrate Mericha mode
Mm,
in order to avoid,
that, yeah.
right? So because I force myself into celebrate Mericha mode, um, what that means for me is that I am intentional to look at
Like,
every
yeah,
victory.
yeah.
I don't care if it's the fact that like I tie my shoelaces.
It's victory.
It's a victory.
Yeah.
And I make a conscious decision, a conscious effort to focus on what has been great in my life, what I'm currently working on that's amazing,
So
and what I've
how
accomplished.
long have you been doing that?
I
Is something recently
started
started
I
or
started it on my 30th birthday was the first time I did it.
okay?
But so you're trying to figure out how long?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 35 in January. So I've only done it 4 times. Well, five.
How,
30, 31,
how
30, 31, 32,
so
33, and
did
34.
okay, I understand. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. So the first time I did it was when I was 29 going into my 30th birthday. I made up in my mind no more depressed birthdays.
Okay.
Um did I succeed every year?
Because that would have been my next question.
No.
Then
No.
maybe we should start earlier.
Before Christmas?
Yeah, like November-ish.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
I know. I just saying. I just trying to help. Not November-ish. Yeah.
Okay, I'll consider it. I mean, I just feel like it's a lot, but okay.
I mean, it's for you. Why
I
not?
see your point.
Why not go all out?
I see your point. Life is so crazy leading up into December though.
And that don't matter.
No, that matters
No, it
because
don't matter. You have to make time for you.
it matters because I don't have the time.
1 minute. 1 minute, 60 seconds. That same minute, you take the drink a cup of water, use that minute, reflect. Look at you, Mericha. Dun, 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 dun. Celebrate something, boom. And you
Okay.
did it.
I'll try that.
You looking, you giving it too much time. You thinking about too much time. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I have a lot going on in November, so I don't have a day. I don't have a moment where I can shut down. No, drink.
Drink my water and mind my business.
While you drive, while you on the red light. I mean, like, you have to
Yeah.
make it work for it to
Yeah.
succeed.
It's definitely a reprogramming. And
I'm gonna steal that.
my mind is on everything else except for myself.
No, that's dang it.
So we say to our sisters today, all of you who have been on the live who commented today, Bernice, Terry, Chevette,
Even Phil.
Marsha, Giselle, Salisa,
Nicole.
Raquel, even Phil, Nicole, and my sister DeAndrea. You aren't losing your mind. Trina, you're not losing your mind.
Listen, sure.
You're not losing your mind. And you've been through worse, so you can be all right.
There will be glory after this.
I ain't the only person who's saying y'all. Y'all see how y'all just like to make fun of me and say I just want to break out.
But it's just
Phil, you say I do the most. You see what
she
she just saying? You see? Did you see it? Okay. I just want to say that.
Come on.
All right, let's talk about you doing this because I tired. I sleepy man. Get ready to go to bed.
Coming up next week.
Today's the 29th.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to put that up.
He cheated. Now what?
This could be good.
October 6th. I didn't think this was snacks. I thought something else was snacks what I'm looking forward to. But go ahead.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Let me see this one. This radio. I thought this is next week. Am I toxic? October 13th. Be here or be square.
Yes, you are.
That's a teen. It's a teen.
Toxic.
Okay, the 20th of October, 4 p.m. I can't stop. Oh, Jesus.
I know I'm ready for that one. Yeah.
I did too. let's just move that
And
over
that's how
to.
you whispered. You gotta say it louder, because why
Oh,
you
sorry.
whispering?
I don't know why I said. Anyway, I can't stop fornicating. Single. I had to do. I had to say it with power. Single and saved. See, you see me. I was more convincing, not whispery.
Right.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
Is he really? Listen, remember we talked. Is he really single? Part two. Listen, all the single ladies, come,
Oh, the single ladies.
come.
That's what's coming up on Girl Talk. Oh, Jesus,
I'm
y'all. We
looking forward
gotta.
to the toxic one though.
You looking forward to that one, eh?
I sure I toxic.
I looking forward to next week. He cheated now. What? What we gonna do?
Hui,
What you gonna do?
my Lord Jesus.
I was gonna start singing a song, but it wasn't safe.
Don't sing.
But yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are we really gonna do? Are we really gonna end our relationship? Are we really gonna walk away?
Or what have
if
we
you
done?
ain't, if you ain't gonna end it, keep it to yourself. Stop. Anyway, we can talk about that next week. Because I done getting in it. I done getting
In any
riled up.
event, get you some good girlfriends.
Yeah, you need some.
You need them to tell you, listen, you're not losing your mind.
Yeah.
You will make it. You will not be depressed. You will be happy. You will be married. You will have children.
Yes.
You will succeed. You will be successful
Yes.
in life. Everything that you put your mind to,
Yes.
you need those kind of girlfriends that will lift you up. Those kind of girlfriends that will tell you, listen, no, you little crazy right here. This don't make no sense right there. You need
Yeah.
that one. You still don't forget.
Yeah.
While she can uplift you or they can uplift you, you still need someone to help you,
Right.
navigate this thing called life.
I don't forget to be that girlfriend as well. Don't forget to be the person that like somebody can lean on you, can look to you for strength, can find clarity in the midst of their confusion because of just being in your presence, because of the time that you spend to listen to them and just lend your ear, and help to bring an objective view to a situation so that they know that they ain't losing their mind, and then to be that person who is the voice of reason, like to bring some sense to the senselessness.
Yes. And then don't feel bad if you need more than one girlfriend.
Right.
Because there are some things that Mericha cannot ask my opinion on because
No.
and then you got to be honest with yourself to know what you can handle because I'll tell her.
She can fight.
The
She can
songwriter
fight.
says, "You must fight, be brave against all evil."
My friend.
I'm just on the firing
believes-
line.
Believes that's all. What is that? The kingdom suffer violence,
It's
and the violent take you by force.
you
Listen
say
to me.
take it. Our dancers do that.
Take it.
Take it.
Take it.
Okay,
Yeah. That's my
you
friend.
got to know which friend.
So
to say what.
when I need to have compassion for somebody, don't call Joinae.
Sometimes depends
It
on
depends.
depends
It
on the
depends.
somebody.
It depends.
It's only really
But
two
in
bodies
most
that really have a
cases-
problem with.
In most cases, she what she say? She ready to throw hands. That's what you say.
I don't say that. I say
You say would you don't say throw hands?
no. I don't say Joanne.
Would you say?
I don't say that. I say in these streets. About to be a
this-
movie.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't throw hands.
DeAndre said having a good girlfriend is therapeutic.
Yes,
but you can need
ma'am.
more than one.
Yeah.
You need more than
They have
one.
different
Um,
things.
I've made it a point in this season of my life, and I hate to use the word season, but it's really what it is. I've made it a point in
Say
this
time.
season, no, for real, it is in this season in my life to ensure that all of the women close to me have something that I'm striving for.
Mm.
So I have you.
Wait. So this man, like, once you get that, then you cutting him off?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I have you. I have all of my closest girlfriends right now, like the women who are closest to me, are all married.
Mhm.
I desire to be married. Straight across the board.
I was
I'm not
gonna
gonna
sing a
walk
song.
away. I'm not gonna
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna walk away from the connections that I have
Yeah.
with them because they will always be ahead of me in the marriage
Mhm.
game.
Mm.
They will always be necessary for me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I
So
understand.
I'm using that example to say, no, you need to get you some girlfriends who, like, they are where you want to be.
Yeah.
And of course, my portion of the conversation was don't forget to be that girlfriend. So sometimes you need to seek out women who you could see they could benefit from being around you because of where you are.
Right.
That's something that I've intentionally done in my life too, to bring people closer to me who I won't necessarily ever benefit from the relationship with them, but they benefit from being connected to me because I have something that they need. And that's not pride, that's knowing who you are in God and knowing what your
Confidence.
assignment is.
Got the confidence.
It's godly confidence. And so outside of my darling sister DeAndrea, because she won't, Lord Jesus, she'll message me on the side. So being close, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the one who have all my secrets. She gonna have to die before me.
What?
I have to bury her. She older than me, so that's fine. I have to bury her because she can't talk my business.
I didn't even think like that.
Yeah, she
Hmm.
I have to. I gonna have to put her.
The point is, get you some good girlfriends.
need
Be the
them.
good girlfriend.
Be the good girlfriend.
Good girl. Good girlfriend. Why does so what? That's a tough. Boom.
She agrees.
Good girlfriend. Be that.
Be that man. Be that. And take time for yourself. She said she was gonna message me.
Let's see what she said.
I
Have to make
know her. I
sense.
know my sis. No, for real. Take time for yourself, ladies. Let's establish that. We're going into 2023. 2023,
Jesus.
find your me time. We going into 2020.
It was
Listen,
just 2020.
we gonna blink and we could be in 2023. We gonna blink.
Jesus.
So start now. You told me start now. Start now.
Yeah.
Establishing your me time, your reflection time. And this is not when you're going to get your nails done, when you're going to get your hair done. No. When you're going to shop it, no, that's different. This is not what you do while you laying down getting a massage. No, that's different. This is focused,
We-
intentional time.
We should do a spa day, and then like vlog it.
We should do that.
We should before Christmas. You see me putting in the calendar, and then when y'all see me here in January and say we ain't never do the spa day, just blame Mericha.
You know what? Let's end the show. It's 5:49.
Have a great day.
Y'all, we gone because this girl, she can cost me say things I don't want to say.
Look here.
Because you're about to blame me. You want to blame me? I don't appreciate it.
Who's to blame?
I'm not to blame. You're not gonna blame me.
Have a great day. Thank you all for tuning in.
A girl talk retreat, Marsha.
Listen,
I see what you're getting at, Marsha.
Okay.
I see what you're getting at. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a good idea. There are several things that have to happen in order for that to happen. And we will leave that right there. Because we promised them some other things.
Because you see me.
Yeah, we promised them some other things first, and we gotta
We
deliver
promised
on.
us some other things, and we
So we
ain't
gotta
do it
no, but we
again.
gotta deliver on that first. Once we deliver on that, then we could do that. Bing. Y'all, we can get out of here because I sleepy, and when I sleepy, I start out my head. It's been an amazing show. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next week as we discussed another controversial yet very pertinent and important topic. It's been lovely. Until tomorrow morning for me. Next week for Joinae.
Next week.
Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let me see this last comment. Love you too.
y'all.
What? Y'all have a wonderful Thursday.